And welcome everyone. As Lori mentioned, so we have 3 parts scheduled right now, but our intent, if we get good feedback from these more technical sessions, or just giving you an opportunity as an open forum to ask different things about the topics that we present, then we're going to continue these. So maybe in the future we won't call them part 1, 2, 3. We'll just call them our monthly tech tip session around the Autodesk Construction Cloud. But yeah, with that, for those of you who don't know me, Lori introduced me. My name is Vince Daniele. I am our construction team services manager at Imagine It. So I really support everything around the Autodesk Construction Cloud, primarily Autodesk Build and all of the ancillary other add-on programs like Assemble, Takeoff, ProWest, Building Connected Pro, you name it. If it's in the ACC, I'm probably worked with it a bit, or someone on my team is an expert in one of those fields. So with this first tech tip session, we just chose the topic. It's a pretty basic one. It's a new feature in the ACC called the My Homepage. And yeah, the intent of this session is just to show you basically what the difference is between My Homepage dashboard and your project dashboards or your executive dashboards, and how to customize some of the cards in here. So my intent for these tech tips, as Lori mentioned, I do want this to be interactive, and I know that's sometimes a hard ask in these environments. We don't all know each other, and sometimes people get shy in asking questions, but please don't hold back. Ask questions. If I can't answer it, I'll do my best to follow up with anyone that has something that I can't answer. And hopefully it's all educational and it's a good, fun session for everyone in attendance. So as I mentioned, quick sessions. We're going to have a loose agenda, so there's a few talking points that I want to go over around this particular My Homepage topic. But expect some different rabbit holes. Just in my tech geeking out, there's certain things that I think are pretty cool that I like to show, and that might lead to some of the issues that I've resolved on my end, and maybe you guys have some input as well on things that you've seen or how you might use a certain dashboard or page. So cool. All right, with that, oh, it looks like we've already got. Okay, that's just Lori putting the links in there. Saw the flashing chat icon on my screen. So with that, we get out of the PowerPoint here, and let's see, should have this right on my page. Excellent. So if you're new to the ACC, oh geez, figure that out. There are a number of different, call them insights pages, dashboards that we can access through the Autodesk Construction Cloud. This newest one is specific to the user, you as the user. So this is a page that you can set up and customize, personalize for information that you want to extract from projects that you're working on within the Autodesk Construction Cloud. And it is personal to you. So no one else on your team or no one else in the company is necessarily going to have the same exact dashboards if you take a little bit of time to customize them. By default, one thing I do like to note, I find this as a really good homepage to getting to really anything that I would want to access in the ACC. So I've actually set this as a bookmark in my browser, in my bookmarks toolbar, to be basically my homepage for when I want to go into the Autodesk Construction Cloud. You'll notice that through my homepage, you have all of the different icons. If you have access to your account admin within your hub, you can get to that quickly. You can jump over to your Executive Insights dashboard, which I'll take some time to show during the session, and then some of the quick links to the other products that are technically supported by the Autodesk Construction Cloud, but are managed through different URL, kind of a different user interface. And then your name in the top corner. So with my homepage, this first tab here is my home. You can jump into your specific project list on the second tab, and then project templates. So if you guys are familiar with the ACC, you're probably already pretty familiar with these two tabs, but this one was just included maybe within the last month or two. And by default, you'll have four cards open on your homepage if you've done nothing to configure or set anything up. And the four cards that we can see on my screen are the cards that come stock with my homepage. So anything this assigned to me is just going to gather all of the issues, RFIs, submittals, and any types of design reviews that you've been assigned to in a workflow. Kind of surprised. I thought I had maybe more design workflows that I was involved with, but these will allow you to click specifically in those areas. So say I have 10 issues that have been assigned to me. This is a really quick shortcut to get to those issues. You basically click it, it gives you a nice snapshot of what those issues are, and then right from here, you can click on any specific issue. And one thing I like to point out, you'll notice that it gathers issues that you're assigned to across different projects. So Fridge Krevling project, Scott Burke Big Box Food Mart project. If we want to jump to one of those specifically, and I'm just using issues as the example here, but this works with RFIs and submittals and reviews as well. You click on the issue, it takes you directly to that project, to that issue. So it can almost be viewed as like a shortcut to getting into that project and specifically opening up that issue. So really nice there. And it will open it up in a new tab so you can quickly navigate back to your other page. Actually, one thing I just realized there in reviewing this kind of snapshot, all right, cool, we can customize the different columns as well. So it looks like we can turn on, when the issue was created. A lot of the ones that we have in our hub are just general ones that we use for demo. So most of them are way overdue or have been created like years ago. But right from here, I can see the start date and due date. If we wanted to flip those columns, you can just drag them through your column setup, and I believe that will it will automatically save how you configured that to your homepage. So pretty cool. The assigned to me, the My Projects is just a map snapshot of where all of your project locations are. So like a heat map of your projects. You are able to zoom into this one, so it's a bit of an interactive map. And I am based out of this region around Detroit. And we have set up this LTU East Residence Hall. You guys have probably seen this project. It's a data set that Autodesk gives us to use. I actually went to school, Lawrence Tech University, and it's based in Southfield, Michigan. So I can click on that from the project map. And then with that little heads up display, you can jump to any of these specific modules that you have access to within that project. So for me, I've got access to Autodesk Docs, Design Collaboration, Model Coordination, Build, Insights, and Project Admin for that project. But if you only had access to, say, Docs, and it's only going to show you that, and you can click that hyperlink then to open up that project. What's also nice about that, I don't know how true this would be for everyone on the call. For a lot of our owner level clients or even general contractors that are being invited into an owner's account, it is not going to just filter those projects to ones that are on your hub. It's going to show you the collection of all of your projects across different accounts that you've been invited to. So it's a nice comprehensive snapshot of all of your projects. Pretty straightforward, right? Let's see. And then this might seem simple, but I actually find this pretty useful. This bookmarks card, we can store different URLs, just like creating favorites folders, but specifically for maybe resources that we would use when we're interacting with our projects. I've loaded a lot here that I go to frequently, like the ACC Health Dashboard is one that I would recommend everyone bookmarking. At times there's degradation in the services on the ACC, or if you notice some lag in your projects, you might want to check the Health Dashboard. So this is just a way that we can jump into and see the status, the health status of all of these Autodesk services. In order to add a URL to your bookmarks, extremely simple. You just click the plus sign to add a bookmark, you add a title or a label to your bookmark, and then put the URL there. The one thing I find, maybe not, I guess it was annoying at first, but I was adding a bunch of URLs and saving them in this dialog box, but you do have to click the save button in the top corner as well. So let me just type in our Imagine-It. I don't know why I didn't have our Imagine-It site, probably because I already have it bookmarked in my normal bookmarks. But so if I add our Imagine-It homepage to our company website to my bookmarks, shows up here, but you do have to hit the save button in the top right corner. So a little frustrating if you don't catch that right away. But once they're saved, they're there for good. And then probably one of the most useful areas, I think, on the homepage is this recent items. This is labeled in beta, so I'm sure they're probably adding a little bit to it or refining it, maybe applying filters or something to different document types. But if you are constantly or consistently opening up the same sheets or documents within a project, this gives you a really nice way to jump to those particular documents that you've been accessing. One thing I find a little strange, at least in the case of this sheet that I just clicked on, this is a sheet that I published to the Sheets area in Build, and it's labeled here as a PDF under my recent items, which is fine. The only thing that I would be maybe a little bit concerned with is that we can store PDFs in the files area of docs. So right now, this has no indication to me if that is a issued for construction sheet, something that is in the Sheets area of Build, or if it's just a general document that's stored in files. But maybe that's something that they're working on refining in the beta process. So those are the 4 stock ones. There's really nothing you have to do to configure these 3. It's going to be automated based on your interaction or things that you've been assigned to, either projects or any of these issues, RFIs, submittals, reviews. The only one really that you're going to customize is the bookmarks card. Now, beyond that, if you're already familiar with some of the other dashboards that we have available in the Autodesk Construction Cloud, like project dashboards or executive dashboards, you're probably already familiar with customizing or adding cards to your different dashboards. Same idea here under the My Homepage. We can customize our homepage, and as soon as I click that pencil, let me back out a second. As soon as you click the pencil customize here, it'll kick you into a mode where you can shift your cards around. So if you wanted to drag, maybe I want assigned to me here, or recent items, I want that to be the first thing on my page. We can drag these cards around and reconfigure our homepage. And we also can add different dashboard cards to our library. Now, right now, there are only those 4, and I've already added all of these, or these are already, like I mentioned, they're already predefined or preset to your homepage, so they're already added. These would be what I would call the out-of-the-box cards from the ACC. But you'll notice that most of your different partner cards are available. So the ones that you would have seen on a project dashboard, you can add specifically to the homepage. Now, I don't know if all of these, there are a lot of different partner cards available to put into your homepage. I don't know, just based on the information that is embedded into a card, if all of these will function in the homepage or not. But I did test this out with one that I personally created with a Power BI dashboard. So I've added my Power BI card to my homepage. And whoops, save that. So every card, you usually have to configure it in such a way where you have to embed the HTML, the URL to that card. This was working for me a half hour ago, and just noticed when I logged in for the presentation, it gave me an error. So hopefully just by signing in to card. All right. So if you're not familiar with Power BI, I'll talk about this a little bit if there's interest in it, but essentially we can extract data from our overall account from the ACC or projects specifically. So there's a data extraction that can be done that basically gathers all of the metadata for your projects, for your account, and then you can build out your own custom dashboards using Power BI. You just have to publish them into, publish them from Power BI desktop into your workspace area of Power BI, and then you can pull an embedded URL into the card so that it displays with the dashboard on your homepage or on your projects or on your executive insights. So pretty cool here. I can get into a little bit of specifics. I'm not going to take this session to go through a lot of detail in Power BI. This one was one that I just tested. A customer of ours had a request to see, to basically gather a list of the projects that any one person that's in their account is assigned to. So it's very hard to see in the card the way that I formatted this, or probably the way my screen resolution is. But just like I showed you with the issues area, you can expand this, kind of maximize the real estate on your screen for that dashboard. And this is a list of all of the users that we've added to our Imagine It hub. So we have probably 1,000, maybe more. But if I just scroll through and find my name on here, so there's my name. I don't know why I have two. Maybe I used a personal email to test something out in an account. But if I click on my name here, this gathers a list of all of the projects that I've been invited to as a member or a project admin. So kind of a cool dashboard just to review. If I wanted to see, hey, someone on my team like Scott Burke, which projects is he included in? I can click on his name in the dashboard updates. I just did a really basic stuff in Power BI to create these two tables, and it's kind of dynamic as you click through them. One thing I did do is on the y-axis of this, I had all of the projects listed. Because we have so many projects in our dashboard, it's just a huge scroll, but I put a little circle icon to indicate as I go through this on a particular project who is included. So one thing that is kind of nice about this, I think this particular dashboard, is if you don't have as many projects as we have at Imagine It, active projects, you can click on the project on the top, and then that's going to list out all of the project members. So it's something that we don't have a real refined stock card from Autodesk to see this type of information. So just showing the power of how you would maybe customize a Power BI dashboard to display some of this other information that you're looking for. And this is one of the Power BI templates that I downloaded. So this one's actually kind of cool too. I didn't change this at all. I'll show you where you can grab these, but being a Power BI template, I just downloaded this one, and it used all the information from our data extraction on our account to retrieve this information. So this kind of shows what entitlements or what products people have been assigned to across the board, not specific to a project, but someone like me. Let's go back, scroll through the list. There's my name there. I can highlight my name, and it's going to give me some specific analytics about me personally. I haven't reviewed this one close enough to know what all of these are reporting, but it shows me that I have entitlements to cost management, design collaboration, field management, all of these different products. I think we could even probably click on. Yeah, all right, yeah, I don't know why that would total that, but yeah, that is basically it for my homepage. So we said 10 to 15, and we're 20 after. So let's see what types of questions we have. All right.
Okay, Vince, I've got a question in there, and for right now, you can read that question. What I'll try to do is I will request people to be able to unmute themselves. And if you want to ask a question, please, by all means, you can either speak it or you can type it.
Yeah, so it looks like more of a comment from Les, just saying, like how they can see all of projects regardless of what account they're in one list. That was frustrating before, and now, yeah, Les missed that My Home tab before. So get into the habit of using it, and that will be helpful. So I agree. It might seem minor, but a lot of these minor changes go a long way, I think, in just how we use the system. So very cool. Maybe Lori, if people have questions that they want to ask, maybe we have them use the raise hand feature.
Yeah, sure. If you, yeah, and you know what, this is a great test for me. I really appreciate if somebody could try to do that. We always have these webcasts that we do that, you know, I've tried to figure out how to unmute people so that you can ask questions.
So I'll let you keep an eye on that if anyone raises a hand, but I guess go down the rabbit hole of the whole idea of the Power BI thing. If you have access to now this on the account level, so outside of my homepage, I think I've covered what's in there thoroughly enough. But if you're interested in some of the other configurations across different dashboards, either project centric or on the account level, for one, not everyone, go to my Imaginate hub here. Not everyone that is a member of a project in ACC will have access to the account admin section of the ACC. Usually that's reserved for people either that are managing members that are inviting into your account, or sometimes like project managers, certain project managers will have access. I have access to ours. And one thing I'll point out here is that if I go to my members list on the account admin and search for my name, this will show me basically all of the entitlements that I have subscription to and my access levels globally, really across all projects and the account, and a default role. So default role architect. But the one thing here, in order for us to access the account level insights dashboard, which is right here, you do have to be assigned as not only an account admin, I'm pretty sure about this, you have to have the executive level as well. So as an executive, you would be able to access from the account level the insights dashboard on the account. Starts up in 360 and then redirects to the ACC. But this should give you, I don't know why it's taking so long to load, but this gives you a snapshot of all of your projects. So if you were an executive for your company and you wanted to just see status on all of your active projects, this area allows you to create a dashboard, a customizable dashboard for different purposes. So out of the box, we have predefined ones for risk, cost, design, quality, and safety. These just have some specific cards preloaded as it pertains to that particular category. So safety checklist, safety conformance. But just like I showed with my homepage, you can customize these. You have the card library where you can add a lot more of these stock cards to gather account level information than what we were seeing from my homepage, as well as those partner cards, including Power BI. So another thing to add to that is if you have a separate one that you want to create that is not risk, cost, design, quality, safety, get out of here, cancel that. You are able to create a new dashboard and you can control who has visibility of that dashboard within your account. So I can say new dashboard, test for presentation. And then you can use those cards. You can basically build this out. All members with executive access or only me. So we can make it personal to us if we just wanted to create an overall account dashboard as an executive that only we have access to, or we can share it out to all other executive access members. And we can pull in those different cards. Into this dashboard. And once I do that, save it, it should show, there we go, as a new dashboard that we can access. So we have this Imagine It official executive overview. So someone, not me, took some time to add some cards to this, basically gather everything. But I did kind of want to show, and this is at the account level again, but inside each project, let me get out of this, go back to my home. It's a quick way to get to my projects. Go to Scott's Food Mart project here. So within each project, you can also go to an insights page specifically to that project. So this will just open up a different dashboard. Has a lot of the same ones that we saw at the executive level, but all the information specifically to that project. So I see, there are some other questions. Is there a way to get the weather?
Sorry, I've got two people that I am testing out here. And Marco, I'm not sure if you got your question answered. If you have another question and you'd like to ask live, feel free to unmute yourself and ask now. And if, just give him a second. And if Marco's question was answered.
Let's see. I just unmuted Marco. Maybe I have to, Lord.
Thank you. Yeah, I was pushing every button I could to unmute myself and it wouldn't let me.
Yay, you're here.
Thank you very much. I was a little late. I was 4 minutes late to the meeting, so I apologize. But I was wondering on my dashboard, when there's the projects map, it looked like a Google Maps per se on the right side, Vince.
Yes.
And you could scroll in and see how many projects you had all over the country. If you were to click on one of those projects on this home screen, does the weather show up? And I only ask that because of having multiple projects across the country, it would be great to just understand what my superintendent is experiencing that day on a quick glance.
Yeah, great feedback. I don't think that we can customize this to show the weather in this little heads up display. You can jump directly to the insights page, but that would require you to click on the project. So from what you're saying,
Thank you.
Yes, is there any way to overlay? Not currently, but trying to think of, I don't think weather, because if we look at the projects page, so this is how I maybe would gather some additional information or try to figure out on my own if there's a possible way we can connect that to a different type of card or put it into a Power BI dashboard. But I believe on the project level, that weather that we see, so we'll go into this Food Mart, which I can't remember where Scott located this project. Go to our insights for this project. So specifically in this project, this is in Bedford, New Hampshire. Current weather is 52 degrees. But you'll see that this card is powered by weather. So specifically to this project, this dashboard, we've got this weather card pulled in. Now, I don't think on the home page.
I suppose you could add that to the bottom left of your home page. It's zoomed in now, so you can't see it. Here we go. Yeah. On the bottom left, where you were saying we could add, or no, bookmarks. I guess you could make that a bookmark if you really cared that much about a specific project.
Yeah, it would almost, to me, for that to work properly, it would probably have to be an overlay with just a weather map kind of over this Google map, so we could quickly see what types of weather fronts were moving in, or temperatures, like a heat map across over the map. But I like that idea though, especially if you've got projects across North America. So currently, I'll go out on a limb and say it's not possible, but I'll talk to our Autodesk contacts and see if we can incorporate something like that.
Okay,
Cool.
great.
Thank you.
Would you like me to move on? Thank you, Marco. Thank you
Yes.
for testing that for me. Okay, so Les, you were asking a question. Maybe you got your question answered. So I'm going to see
Test.
if,
Can you hear me?
yes, I can. Yes. Hi.
Awesome. Just to follow up on on Marco's point there. Another thing that would be nice. A lot of projects have webcam, 24-hour webcam, and I've not been very successful trying to get a card for that. So I don't know. I don't know if we could ask Autodesk about that. A future implementation maybe.
Yeah, I'm wondering maybe there's one of these partner cards that has some type of.
Yeah, I
connection to
went
that.
down this course. It's been at least a year, maybe two ago. And there wasn't a lot then, and it's not something that I really.
Because even having the ability to say you're streaming this webcam on your own, like your own internal, your intranet or website, it would be nice if you could just create a card that would link to your own
Yeah,
URL.
that you could just put a URL in. Yeah, exactly.
Kind of just create a little tile or a window to be able to, even if you had to click on it, maximize it, and make sure that's streaming it over to the ACC.
Thanks, guys. Appreciate the presentation.
Yep.
Thanks, Les.
Thank you. I will mention, so if you guys want to stick around for a couple more minutes, so some of the card integration, one of the problems I had was I was able to create a Power BI dashboard and basically publish that dashboard to our own internal SharePoint site, to my own workspace on SharePoint. But I was struggling with figuring out how to get a specific card to display in really any dashboard, whether it's my home or project dashboard or executive dashboard. It's actually a really easy step, and I was probably just dumb for missing it. But in order to get the custom cards to display, and I'll mention this for BI, I'm sure every card has its own nuances or depending on the website. I was trying to get this to work for Pipe, and I was not figuring out any way for me to display my auto specs dashboard from Pipe directly on my project page. So I'm missing something there, but I know for Power BI, a lot of these, when you go to configure them, and again, whether it's on a project dashboard, executive dashboard, basically, let's go to configure this card. So you put your card title in, but then it's asking you for a partner URL. So where do we get this URL from in the specific case of a Power BI dashboard? Well, let's go. So this is my Power BI, my workspace. You can create different workspaces. So I have one here for ACC that I was testing. I could publish my different Power BI dashboards to this workspace, but to test this one out, all I had to do was go to my BI workspace. There's my content dashboard that I've published up to my SharePoint, and simply clicking on that dashboard through SharePoint to open it up. So it looks exactly the same, just through SharePoint. But in order to get this to work, to get the correct URL to display the correct dashboard in Autodesk, from the file drop-down in Power BI, you have this option to embed your report. And all you have to do is go to, I think this was it. website or portal option and just copy this link. So all I did here was copy this URL, go back to, where is it? Which tab was that? Pasted it here. And then you do have to be connected to the service. So if you're not signed into your Microsoft account, then it's going to force you to sign in. But as long as you're signed in, it will display. Now, I'm not going to get into the details about synchronizing or refreshing the information on the dashboard. It's a little bit more detailed. To update your data source, there's some other stuff on the BI side that you have to do, and really from your ACC account for your data extraction. But just actually linking that dashboard, maybe it is just a static dashboard that you want to show, or maybe you only update it every month. You can go into your SharePoint, and I think there's a way to let me back out of this. There's either in here. Let me go back. There's a button somewhere. Oh, under your data sets and data flows, you can hit this refresh button. So as long as your data extraction from the ACC is updated to your BI dashboard or the desktop version, when you refresh it, it's going to update it with the new information. You can set a scheduled cadence to refresh if you want, but there's actually kind of two refreshings happening there. Oh, cool. I'm in account admin. Let me go to my account admin insights page. So for those of you who don't know how this database is being fed into a program like Power BI to create these different dashboards for this content. So from the account level, on the insights page, we can go to this data connector, and then we can run a one-time extraction by hitting the play button. So that'll take a snapshot of all of my current information across my entire account and pull it into basically a database that we can connect to Power BI. You can set this on your hub to run at a certain schedule to update. So we can set this on a weekly cadence. We can set it on a daily cadence, run it every day at a set time, and set an end date on that to make sure that the data that we're getting is at least up to date daily. And then on the BI side, I don't think I have my Power BI open. So told you we'd go down a rabbit hole. Didn't really plan on getting into the Power BI side of it, but just a couple of points. I won't go into how to actually create the visualizations in BI. But one thing that if you do have Power BI desktop, to link your ACC information, when you do your data extraction from the ACC, you can download those as Excel files or XLS files and then basically import the data from those files directly. Or if you want it to be really more of an active data source, a data feed into Power BI, from that Get Data button, I went to More Sources at the bottom of that list and just scroll down in this list. Went too far. There it is. Autodesk Construction Cloud Beta Data Connector. Basically, I hit this one, I say connect. It's going to prompt me to pick which account I want to connect to. First, I have to choose our region. And then depending on what access you have, let's see, go to my Imagine It hub. And I've never tried this just because it's never been brought up, but I would assume that you probably could pull information from multiple sites that you've been invited to create like a cross-pollinated dashboard. But these are all of the different database, all the different data points that we can pull from the ACC. And then through BI, there's create connections between UIDs and stuff. There's some other things that you have to do, but this is how you could pull in that directly from the data source. You will still have to run that cadence. So you have to schedule an update on the ACC side to make sure that your data that's being pushed into Power BI is up to date. But if you don't want to run a manual extraction at a set time, you are able to schedule that. And then when you refresh on the BI side, when you refresh your data source or your data connector on that end, your dashboards will be up to date. So there's kind of two different pushes. We have to make sure we schedule the extraction from the ACC, and then we also either have to schedule a refresh cycle on the BI side or set a schedule, force it to refresh manually. This does come loaded when you go through this data connector. A lot of people miss this, but these Power BI templates. So Autodesk does provide some templates that you can download. These are a really good start to visualizing the information. So there already are some predefined connections established within these cards. So you don't have to figure everything out from scratch. You can reverse engineer something that you can download, one of these templates and reverse engineer it to suit your needs. Or a lot of these are really good without any adjustments. So just pulling specific information. Any of them that have admin, it's going to pull basically an account across the entire account information from multiple projects. But there are cards in here that are set up specifically for, let's see, projects. Well, is that one? That one's showing multiple projects. I probably zoomed past one. Here's a project forms dashboard. So just different visuals on different forms that might be input into your system. These are a good starting point, but if you're really good with Power BI, I'm sure there's a lot more that you can do with these than what is available from these templates. So just something to keep in mind. I know this is a really big thing for owner levels and executives to just get that quick visualization of where the projects are at. Weather is not something that will update here because I was thinking, okay, is there a way that Power BI, but that's an active feed from an external source. So it's not part of one of those data points that we would be pulling from the ACC. Might be a way. I don't get into it. Just kind of thinking on the fly here. There might be a way on Power BI. So you could connect multiple data sources or data feeds into a single dashboard. There probably is, like weather.com or something, probably has a good feed that has locations broken down in their current weather. So as long as somehow you could establish a relationship between the project location and a different data source, in a dashboard, there might be a way to say, okay, this project is located in Detroit, Michigan. Temperature right now is 48 degrees Fahrenheit. The problem with that is that syncing would have to happen very, very fast or very frequent. So there might be some challenges there, but just thinking outside the box, there probably are some opportunities to create some pretty cool stuff there. Cool. I think I went far enough down that rabbit hole. So I'll leave it at that. I think we covered thoroughly the different dashboards and the project homepage. Didn't see any new questions coming in. We were just on a tech call internal with Autodesk yesterday, and there are some big updates coming in the next release of really not just build, but the overall ACC. So I will make sure that I think Alan DeLuce and I are doing a presentation sometime in June, specifically on what's new in the ACC, where we'll highlight those. But that will be more of a general updates. I'll probably, for one of these future sessions, if the topics are affected by any of these updates, we'll make sure to highlight those in detail so that you guys can see maybe our interpretation or how our customers could benefit, specifically based on feedback that we've heard from our implementations and our projects that we're working on. So yeah, hopefully this is good. They'll continue to get better, I promise, but I like the idea of having it kind of an open forum. So hopefully everyone found this beneficial, and we hope to see you on the next one.